I like our new intro.
I love that lead. Who did that?
Actually, I wrote that for a film back in 2006.
Yeah. The music is Arthur's and the video is me. So
you got to teach me how to do the video part, Shari, because I don't know anything.
And then she sent me the new one, and then I matched the music to it again.
Oh, when I changed, I wanted to update it because the other one just didn't seem to fit anymore, and I thought, okay, I updated it. Then I told Arthur, get the new one, make sure the music fits. And
the music I could never do, but I guess the video I probably, I don't know.
It's not hard. It's really not.
It took me an hour. It took me an hour to teach how to do cut and paste. So do it.
What do you do it in, Shari?
Canva.
Oh. What kind of computer do you have?
An old one.
No,
it's a window. It's a
PC.
I don't. Lewis built it for me, so it's not like when you'd buy off the shelf because he specially designed it for what I need.
You can use Canva.
I have a Mac, so can you use Canva with Mac?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then Arthur, you can teach me too. Because
I'm talking to Mel and Arthur.
I am computer illiterate when it.
Yeah, we're just talking computers.
Oh.
I have.
He's like, what's wrong with the computer?
I have a brand new.
No, I just heard you talking about it. Me building it for you. It was a hand-me-down. It was my old my new one, but it's still good stuff.
You have the 16-inch Pro or the
i7 4770.
But the intro is like 33 seconds, I think, something like that.
It's 19 seconds.
Well, you guys got to show me how to do it because
I'm
a MacBook Pro. So
no problem.
Can you do it on a Mac?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Draining the Swamp. My co-host with me, Mel Dorothy, Aloha Shirt Psychic, and Arthur, Ease Your Mind. So, I'm Shari, Voices from the Swamp. I look a little pale because I've literally been sick all night long. Stayed home from work today, was sick most of the day. And I finally said, okay, I'll put some makeup on so I don't scare people.
Everybody give Arthur, Shari, and me this thumbs up. By the way, I have to say, if you want to get a session from Arthur, he is a phenomenal psychic, intuitive reader. I would suggest getting one from him. Also, Shari's an intuitive, of course she is. She's a phenomenal psychic reader. And there's yours truly.
And Mel's pretty good too.
Yeah, Mel's pretty damn good. So,
Anyway.
We all have memberships, so check out memberships. And then, if you enjoy us, then join the membership as well. But you get extra goodies to come with that.
So, Arthur, how do they get it?
It's real easy. Just go to ArthurEaseYourMind.com.
Say that again.
Arthur, ARTHUR, Ease, EASE, your YOUR, Mind, MIND.com.
And you have availabilities. You have availabilities for sessions as well, correct?
Yeah, I've got openings this week actually.
Good. So everybody, give them a call.
Or as I told somebody, I've got openings in May, and April, and March, and February.
And Shari, how do they get a hold of you?
Swamp, SWAMP, voices, VOICES @gmail.com. And I have openings as well for February and March and April.
And for me.
And Mel, how do they reach you?
You call my office, 847-590-5411. Or email me. Email me, yes. Well, two ways you can email me, but www.meldor, MELDOERR.com. That's the easiest. Also, I have openings on my Peru trip and my Iceland trip. So everybody starting to fill up. So if you're interested, it'll be safe to travel. Flying is still safe. I promise. If it wasn't safe, I wouldn't be getting on an airplane. And I'm a psychic, so
right.
It'll be safe. Anyway.
Well, just so you can see, Teacher Barbara had a little message for you, Mel.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
No, for your reading. Thank you.
And Barbara sent me the T-shirt that said "Love Trumps Hate." So thank you, Barbara. Barbara's a wonderful teacher, and yes, I do readings as well. Call my office 847-590-5411 or email me www.meldorr meldorr.com. So, infomercials over. Shall we get to the questions?
And actually, I sit at the mall sometimes and I read people too. Oh my God, did they have a mirror at home? They're wearing that outfit?
Did anybody tell them they look like a 10-pound sausage in a 3-pound wrap? I mean, you know. That's what gets me, is these young people that will wear clothes so tight and you just see rolls of fat. And I have room to complain. I'm heavily overweight myself.
Yeah, if you look like
but I can't stand tight clothes. It's like, how can you breathe in clothing that's so tight it looks like you can't even move? And I've got Maureen already fussing at me in the chat. Shari, you should be resting. I rested all day long.
But Teacher Barbara's got a good one. Can I read this?
Absolutely. Which one?
Here's my question. I've been calling Gus Bilirakis, my congressman, and telling him what I think, asking him questions. My messages get passed on. Also, Gulf of Mexico. You know what, Barbara? Tell everybody to keep writing. You know, they might get passed on. You might even say, why are you passing them on? You know, just keep writing and get everybody else to do it too.
And use there's a website, the number 5
calls,
.org. I use it all week. I got to everybody. It goes fast.
What was it again, Arthur?
5.
The number 5.
Then CALLS.org.
It will give you a script of what to say for those people who don't know what to say if they get through. And it will help you find the right numbers for the right representatives or senators to call in your area.
Your representative. It's great.
Yeah, representatives. So,
Synchronity says, can you all explain to me why isn't there a military coup against this actual oligarchs coup of our country? So they're obviously not wanting to be bothered with legal actions against them. Well, you know, when I hear J.D. Vance say, my blood was boiling, that we'll just ignore the order of the court, and Donald Trump pretty much gave his middle finger to a court order today. And I've been following this all day long. You know, my guides had shown me that we were going to be in a constitutional crisis. And a constitutional crisis, the way I understand it to mean, is when one branch of the government doesn't do what the other branch says they're supposed to do according to the law. And with them ignoring our court systems and judges that tell them to cease and desist, the judge can then file a contempt order civilly to go and send federal marshals to go after those who are breaking the law. But who controls the federal marshals? Donald Trump. So at some point, my guides have shown me that he will be impeached. And I've been saying that all along. But him ignoring these court orders, in my psychic opinion, my guides are right, will put us in a constitutional crisis. And if that's the case, why have a constitution? It's just words on a piece of paper. You know, the Constitution is an agreement that is made by the lawmakers, that it's rules and laws we all must follow. And nobody is above that. Mm-hmm. And the Supreme Court has created a real monster when they gave, you know, pretty much the president unlimited powers, you know, when Trump was under indictment. Oh, he's immune if it was a presidential act, but if it was a personal act, you got to figure out what's what. And then Eileen loose cannon dropped the charges or whatever. But for him,
well, and then Vance came out today, either last night or this morning, I don't know which, and proceeded to tell a reporter who was asking him about it, Well, the judicial branches can't tell us what to do. We don't have to follow their
Yes, he
judgments.
does. And
It's like, yeah, you do.
he is a Yale graduate, and he knows the law. Okay.
Yeah, he knows better.
So for him to say that the executive branch all this power and the judicial can't do anything, that's why it's called balance of power.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? You keep it up, JD and T Rump. There's going to be a counter pushback against y'all in this country, and it ain't going to be pretty.
Well, I know just the other day I was asking, just kind of nonchalantly, I think it was Friday night, Mel, when we were on the Cool Crone. Do the regular everyday people have the ability to file a class action lawsuit against Trump and Musk and all of them for the crap that they're doing? Well, and I was going to bring it up. I had it written down in my notes. Gio Yuka said, Jamie Raskin and several of the other Dems are looking into actually forming and putting together this class action lawsuit that people can sign on to with it, which will be a good thing. I'll keep my eyes open for it, and as soon as I know for sure, then
don't forget, Raskin is a constitutional scholar.
Exactly. That's what used to crack me up about when they would blame Obama about, oh well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm like, he's a constitutional lawyer, and he's a professor that teaches constitutional law. If anybody's going to know what the Constitution says, it's going to be him.
If any other party had ignored a court order, and if a vice president had said pretty much "F you," the court, "F you" to the courts, they don't have any power over us, be gone. If anybody else did that, oh my God, the MAGAs, the Republicans, everybody would have their underwear.
They would go nuts.
Bunch. It would have been. Oh my God. Oh, impeach. They were looking for reasons to impeach Joe Biden, and they couldn't find anything. This really is Trump thinking that he's got total power and control, and that he doesn't have to follow the law. And it's going to put us in a constitutional crisis. My guides have been telling me that. And I'm going to have to focus and see where this is going to lead. It's play by play. I did not watch the Super Bowl last night because Donald Trump attended. I would not watch anything that he attended, albeit my team did win. Nothing against the opposition team, but
I'm from Philadelphia, so that's all I'm going to say.
All right, but I just don't know what to say when a vice president of this country says it's okay to ignore a court order, and it's not.
Especially one that's not an idiot like DJT and knows better.
And I think behind the scenes, some of Trump's generals are already talking about what they can do.
I've been picking that up a lot.
And how about this one? That, the biggest one is all the smoke screens that he wants to turn Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East.
And not let the people from Palestine go back.
Well, number one, I don't see it happening. But number two, let's pretend that it did. He'd bankrupt it like he did everything else.
Okay.
This is going to incense the world. It's like...
Oh, the world is already incensed with all of this, especially with the Gaza thing. And rightfully so. I've seen people really push back on some of the representatives and stuff who were refusing to vote for Kamala Harris because they didn't like her stance on Gaza, because she was saying, look, Israel is our ally, and we've got to find a workable situation for the whole thing. There's no one way or the other, and because of it, now they're dealing with this. And
but also, don't forget, Musk was also fanning the flames, putting false information out.
Yep,
Musk is behind all of this.
Yeah.
You know, he's like behind this crypto stuff, laying all these people off. You know, he's what it's like. Trump is not thinking of this. It's Musk telling Trump, advising Trump what to do. You know, Elon Musk. I said it today on my show with Linda. Elon Musk, he's horrible. He's probably the most hated man in the world, but he's smart. He's very, very smart.
Yeah.
You might think he's not, but he is.
And he's got a hell of a lot of money.
To be the richest man in the world, you don't get there being stupid.
And now he wants to buy
Donald Trump.
GBT.
Donald Trump, you know, was a trust fund child. Elon Musk is very smart, and he's doing to this country what he does to companies he buys. Lays off a bunch of people, makes max profit, and it goes right in his pocket. And that's what he's doing to the American people. And Donald Trump is allowing it. And that's what they want to do in Gaza. How much you want to bet that Trump is setting up Kushner for this too?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and don't forget, Netanyahu is Kushner's godfather.
Right.
You know,
I'm sure he's already got architects laying out plans.
Real quick, I wanted to say hey to Kevin Chandler. He's in the house.
Hey, Kevin.
And I wanted to send a special birthday wish to Debbie Smith's mother, who just turned 90 or will be 90 on Thursday. And it's like 90 years old. Yeah, okay, I can stop and take a second and say happy birthday to Mom. So happy birthday to Mom. That's a pretty good accomplishment. If you ask me, I'd be happy if I make it to 70.
You know, Froxy Roxy says we need the military police to step up and arrest Elon and Trump for defying the court orders and the Constitution. Well, that's well and good, but there's a rule: you can't arrest the sitting president.
It's a standing rule. It's not law.
It's not law, no. But
I'm also, the military follows the Constitution, not the president.
The thing that
supposedly,
that disturbs me is the Democrats are up in arms, but there's no Republican that's come out and said, and maybe three of them have, no more. And he's still 73% favorability with Republicans. You have a president that is just doing all over your Constitution. And here's what's going to happen. My guides have shown me this. When these people are paying buku money at the grocery store, when they're losing their jobs, when all that starts to hit with all these tariffs, housing market might crash, housing prices are going to go sky high, you know, no law. Guess what? You guys are the ones that wanted him, right? Half of us didn't. So how are they going to deal with it then? I'm curious.
They already are. It's called F around and find out.
I mean, those things are the things I just described what my guides are showing me is coming.
But also,
well, and it's just like Musk's little minions that have been playing around with the data. You know, they think they're going to be able to just simply say, well, we did what we were told. It didn't work in the Nuremberg trials with people who followed Hitler. So I don't expect it to work now.
It'd be like Shari says, Mel, go out and rob a bank. And I do. And Shari's my boss. And I said, well, my boss told me to do it. I was just doing my job. I was following orders. Doesn't work that way. So
Exactly.
Because these people right from wrong. J.D. Vance knows that he's breaking the law. Yeah. But what he thinks is, okay, fine. Yeah, but he knows also he's smart that the courts can't enforce it because Trump controls the federal marshals. So he thinks he's setting pretty and he can do anything he wants. Wrong answer.
Well, and that goes right along with what Nora put in was, you know, when will we see the military haul them off for breaking the law, for being traitors in my book? I mean, granted, I know there's a very specific definition that goes with that, but to me, you sell out your country, that makes you a traitor. And
I don't know if they'll haul him off, but I still see.
We could only win.
I do not see him finishing his term in office, nor do I see Vance at all. Oops, I'm sorry. Nor do I see Vance. It never fails. I start doing a show and people call me.
Is that your cousin?
Of course.
I tell people, please don't do it at this time. Do they listen?
No, like most people, they don't. And let's see, we had some other questions.
But I'm going to say the vision I always had was the Army getting involved, calling them off. That's the vision I've always had. So
okay,
yeah. Well, it's just like at the when Biden won in 2020, and Trump said something to some of his people about, well, I wasn't going to leave. And the Secret Service was like, no, sir, you were going to leave because we would have hauled you out if we had to pick you up and carry you out.
Yeah, but then he wasn't.
That's the law.
He wasn't elected, but now he's the president.
Exactly. And
as my guys say, but not for long.
Bingo.
It's.
I don't even see Vance as president.
No.
I don't know what's going to happen.
When a new person comes in, they get to pick a whole new cabinet.
But I'm telling you, something big is going to be happening.
I'm telling you, end of March.
And like I was saying Friday night on Colleen's show for Polyterology, one of the things that I keep seeing and keep getting when I do cards on is that not only are they going to be taken out of office, but as the rest of the world starts coming forward and saying, no, we had to throw out our elections because Musk interfered just like he did in the United States election. Like I said the other night, I think if they start adding that tagline onto everything that they come forward with in other countries that are dealing with this, maybe it'll finally start sticking in people's brains that, hey, something doesn't smell right here.
Well, just wait. Approval rate's going to go way down. When Hitler first came to power, he had a really high approval rating. But
you realize it only took Adolf Hitler 53 days to get rid of the democracy.
Well,
it's history. So I hope Trump's not trying to outdo him.
Yeah. Innocent Potato brought something up. I heard about this. I didn't watch the Super Bowl either, but it wasn't just one guy. That's when he left at halftime because there were people booing him and calling him traitor from the stands.
Then he said it was Taylor Swift they were booing.
Right, but what would she be a traitor for?
No. What? Go ahead, Arthur.
They were booing Taylor Swift. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say again.
He was saying that MAGA was booing Taylor Swift. No, it was the Eagle fans that was booing Taylor Swift. That was all. It had nothing to do with MAGA.
Why were they booing her?
Because her boyfriend's for
1 second. I'm sorry.
Because her boyfriend lost.
Oh, I don't know.
Had nothing to do with politics, put it that way. But there you go.
I didn't think it had to do with politics, but they booed him because it had to do with politics.
Exactly.
I'll be right back, guys. Hang on a second. Y'all keep talking.
There's a question here. Why aren't they from? I can't start it, but
say again.
I saw a question here from Lorraine. Why are the Democrats not fighting harder to stop all young constitutions? They are doing it. Just the legacy news is not covering it.
I think behind the scenes they are, but they're not going to really go public with it big time because I don't think they want to let Trump know their battle plan. You don't let your opposition know what you're doing.
Right. That's why I don't use a blinker on the highway.
I'm sorry. Say again.
That's why I don't use my blinker on the highway. I don't want the enemy knowing what I'm doing.
There you go.
That's a joke, people. I do use my blinker.
I got it.
All right, let's see. We got, we kind of already discussed all of that. So Jackie, hopefully that answered your question. We kind of ran through that.
Maureen wants to know
another question.
Maureen,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Maureen D'Amico wants to do when I do a tour of Ireland. She said she'll book it. You know what? Thank you. You know, Maureen, this is how I get ideas for trips. I will call Mayflower tomorrow, and I will see what they've got going to Ireland for 2026.
I would love to go on a trip like that.
By the way, Shari, real quick, how are you liking Andro Nikki product?
I love his stuff. I've been using it for a week now, and it's great. I do the night formula and the day formula, night and day. And I started using the anti-aging one on the backs of my hands because I was getting really scaly on the back of my hands, and they look so much better now. So
we don't get paid.
I'm loving it.
We don't get paid
by
Joe Nikki. He just sent his product. He's been my client for a long time. This is prediction come true. And when I tried, I'm like, this stuff is friggin' phenomenal. My hands were cracked and bleeding, and look at them now. I use it every day. It's like, wow. I use the moisturizer and for the damaged, broken skin and all of that. Anyway, if you're interested, you got to try this stuff out. It's great. Andro.
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 Andro. The plus sign, Nikki, Niki, Andro, Nikki, and plus Nikki, Niki.com. It's incredible. I just thought I'd bring that up. Arthur, you have some too, but
I haven't started yet.
But when you try it, you're going to love it.
I will let you know. I'm under a guise of a dermatologist at the moment, so
there you go. All right. I'm sorry. I just
no, that's cool. One of the things I wanted to bring up, I haven't seen any questions specifically on it yet. Trump ordered the shutdown of the CFPB. That's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that Elizabeth Warren helped set up and get going. And he basically, this is him green lighting it's okay to perform fraud on American citizens again. The CFPB was there to keep people from being overcharged on credit cards or having ridiculous fees charged, super high percentage rates and whatnot. And the CFPB was started with, and this was before Elizabeth Warren became a senator. And she got Obama to put this together. And of course, the Republicans freaked out about it because suddenly they weren't going to be able to steal money anymore. And they refused to let her be the head of it, which was the original plan. And so she decided, okay, she ran for Senate. And she's been a senator ever since. I think the GOP came out on the worst end of the stick. But the whole purpose of that bureau was protections for Americans with their credit cards, their bank accounts, their, trying to buy a house, trying to buy a car, anything that's to do with your credit. The whole reason it was there was to protect people from being charged too much money or made up fees or, whatnot. Well, today Trump decided, no, I'm just going to shut it down. So I know they're fighting back on it. I don't know what's going to happen.
I can tell you what's going to happen. It's going to get, judges are going to say you can't do it. They're going to block that. He'll try it anyway. And then what's going to happen, these credit card companies are going to start, 36%, 50% interest, even higher. They're going to mess with people's credit scores.
It's all the predators.
The banks are going to charge exorbitant overdraft fees. They're going to mess with the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which protects your money that you have in the bank up to 100 or 200,000. They're going to mess with that. So people, what's going to happen is they're not going to be using their credit cards. because if they're going to have to pay exorbitant interest rates, which is really like a juice loan, they're not going to spend. When people aren't spending, what happens to the economy?
Right.
And there's going to be record bankruptcies, and they're going to try to mess around with that law again.
And they're also going to try and, oh, you want a credit card? Sure, we'll give you a credit card. It's $120 a year.
Right, exactly. And you're going
to if you notice in the last 10 years or so, you don't have to, it's very rare that you see credit cards now that charge that annual fee of $100+ a year,
The predators do.
And if they charge you that fee of $100 a year, $150, and they put it on your credit statement, like for the month that they charge you, and you don't pay that because you're not aware of it, guess what? They report it to the credit bureau. That brings your credit score down. So what happens? They can charge you more interest.
More interest. Yeah, it's all a game.
Yeah, so exactly.
It's gonna everything he's doing is going to impact us, and it's really going to trash the economy.
Right. But I still say
this this Cheelin's question kind of tied into what we just started talking about, but why aren't other big techs stepping up to stop the hacking going on?
Because they're going to be making all kinds of money unless it costs them money. Yeah. Okay, but what I do see are the states standing up, and they're going to start passing laws to say, in our state, a credit card company cannot charge these exorbitant interest rates. And, I kept seeing that many states would secede without secession. So here's the deal. If Trump gives the middle finger to the courts and to the Constitution says secession is illegal. Well, then if the states decide they're going to start doing that, then how can Trump stop them? Because they haven't done it, and because Trump ignored the law, why shouldn't they? That's the thinking that's going to happen. But I'm telling you, many states will start to stand up to Donald Trump and saying, we have had enough.
Yeah.
And many red states will turn purple or blue because of it.
California takes care of about 21 red states. Okay.
All California has to say is done spending.
And what did you think about Trump getting rid of the penny?
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing he said. He's going to do away with pennies. No more pennies.
Well, Canada did that a long time ago.
Well,
and so they round up to the nearest whatever.
Nickel.
Yeah, whatever. But, that didn't bother me so much. But I don't know.
I'm just saying that what he's trying to, the thing is, it's like Steve Bannon said when Trump gets in, we're going to pound them every day with stuff that they are overwhelmed, they're tired, and they can't fight anymore. And that's
right.
what he's doing.
But that's where he's wrong, of it. Because people will continue to fight.
I need them pennies because I put them in my pocket. No, seriously. As copper helps.
I got a jar full of pennies over here on my bookcase. Anytime I get change, I throw all my change in it.
Don't you have to go through Congress to do that? I don't know. I don't know if he has the authority.
He told them not to make any more pennies right now.
So what happens if it's $1.01?
They'll
round it up to $1.05.
Well, Canada does.
It's if it's like 7-Eleven, I'll be looking for that penny in the.
In Canada, if it's over a certain, like if it's like $1.01, you just pay the dollar. If it's $1.26, you pay 25 cents. $1.20, you pay $1.30. Anything after 5, they round up. Anything under 5, they round down.
There's this guy once who paid his taxes in pennies.
He didn't pay any.
He literally wheelbarrowed in to the IRS. Lots of rolled up pennies. Here's my taxes.
I like this one. Can I ask this one? Nora Garcia says, good evening, Arthur, Mel, and Shari. Do you see an insurrection from frustrated Americans? My guides have shown me people are going to be protesting in the streets peacefully. my guides have shown, and Donald Trump's going to say they can't do that. It's our constitutional right. People are going, along with the states, people in those states are going to start standing up and saying, we've had it. I even had a vision today while I was driving, like groups of people just standing up, and there's a group of ICE agents, and they're standing up, holding those ICE agents back, saying, you ain't coming in here. It's going to get very interesting. So I do see people standing up. Yes. People, even some who voted for Trump. Trump behind the scenes tell the Proud Boys and those organizations to do their things. But I want to tell you something. I see the many, many Americans, at least over half of us, starting to march, protest, stand up, push back, and fight back for our Constitution, because it is under threat. It really is.
What Roxy said goes right along with that. It says, we will continue to fight as peacefully as we can, but if push comes to shove, look out.
Well,
yeah.
But our Constitution, my guides tell me, is under threat. But Abraham Lincoln's spirit keeps assuring me that our democracy will prevail. Justice, our democracy, our union shall stand, justice shall prevail, and our democracy will hold. So,
by a thread, but it's going to hold.
But it's up to us to push back.
Absolutely,
Roxy.
Barbie asks, will this be the end of the GOP?
As we know it, it already has ended.
My feeling is the old order GOP will come back, some of them, but it is really an end of the GOP that Arthur's right, that we once knew. It's MAGA world, Now some senators, like, the one in Maine, and there's a couple other ones that stood up against Trump. And I think more will follow suit. I can see maybe 10 or 15 of them or more standing up against him. But a lot of them won't, because they want to stay in office. They want to hold their power.
And they're also in red states and afraid that they need Trump more than Trump needs them.
Right.
Nora had another good question, was, do we see Iran taking action if they try to start to build Jared's hotels on the Gaza Strip?
They're already talking behind the scenes about what...
Well, they've already pulled out of the nuclear thing.
As I said, they're already talking behind the scenes as to what to do. I am pro-Israel, but I'm anti-Netanyahu.
Exactly.
Like, I'm pro-America, but very anti-Trump. This is not the America, what Trump is doing. This is not the America based on the Constitution and law and order. We have a sociopath running our government too, Musk and Trump, and a lot of sociopaths, just like Hitler put in his government. And we cannot let our government become sociopathic with no moral compass. We don't have to follow the rules. We don't have to do this. We must stop it. And we will stop it.
And what about the whole thing when Trump demanded that there's no such thing as transgender people anymore, and he was shipping all the transgendered women back to male prisons? They have female genitalia, but they had a shower with the men.
And so a judge put a hold on it. He said it's unconstitutional, cruel and unusual.
Mm-hmm. It just shows you this man just has a cruel streak in him. I wonder if he pulled off wings off of flies when he was a kid.
I can't believe that people would even go along with it, because what he does is he gets people to think of certain groups as subhuman. And if he can get people subhuman, that's how they can justify treating them that way. I think he takes perverse pleasure in seeing people suffer.
That's where, when he started talking about immigrants, he would call them vermin, same as, Mr. Nazi.
Right.
Well, I pulled a couple of cards just to see what they would say. The first thing I got was the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So, that's missed opportunities. It's bad investments. I mean, just every decision he's making right now is just not good for us naturally, because he doesn't give a crap about us. But they're also not good for him, and in the long run, he's going to suffer because of it. It's like the way my guides keep showing it to me is like he can't see beyond what is going to make him feel justified today.
He doesn't care.
That's the whole thing.
No. Yeah. But anyway, so
doesn't affect him. He doesn't care.
Arthur, maybe you can help this person. It says, I'm Canadian, but is there any numbers or websites that we can call also? Call 5calls.org. I'm sure you could, right?
5calls.org is here for the United States. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
Talk to your representatives in Parliament and things like that in Canada.
Yeah.
And have them, or your representatives.
There you go.
I don't know how I know it's parliamentary. I just don't know what they call the House and the Senate and the provincial government.
Whoever is in charge of your province.
Talk to them and say, you know what, send the message. I heard that there was some Americans that were bad-mouthing Canadians, and I'm like, for what? Canada's our allies. How can you tariff them?
Wouldn't it be fun if Canada just cut off the energy on Super Bowl Sunday?
Right.
Just a thought.
I mean, it's going to backfire on Trump. All these tariffs, and the big companies are going to start screaming about it because they're going to lose profits.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Helen had a question. Cheetolini gave the finger to JD when asked by Fox News if he sees JD Vance as his successor. And he said no.
Yeah, because he thinks he's going to be his own successor. That's why he's trying to get a third.
Because he thinks he's going to stay in forever. But
he's already tossing it out there. I deserve another term because they stole the last one. Well, if they stole the last one, you wouldn't be here now because you would have finished your 2 terms.
Well, if he gives his middle finger to the Constitution, and the Constitution says they can only serve 2 terms, then what's to keep him from saying, "Oh, I'm running another term"? And the Republicans supporting that, they would have to file a lawsuit. He's going to try to declare martial law. He's going to try to stay in, but I see his.
Yeah, I see alive to be a president.
I see his empire crumbling, and I see J.D. Vance's empire crumbling, and I see him walking away with his head down like that. That's J.D. Vance. Trump, I just can't see a future for him.
The only future I see is handcuffed to a gurney. Sorry. No, that's a vision I get all the time.
Yeah.
And J.D. Vance and the rest of them I get with, remember I told you, like an old movie where it's the 40s paparazzis with their big flash bulbs and this whole line of felons with their handcuffs, but they got their jackets open so you don't see the handcuffs.
Spiritual hack says the constitutional crisis, it means it's not doing what it's written to do. It means it's breach. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and today something else that Vance did was, and I don't know who originally threw it out there, that we needed to ship out all the East Indian people and not let them be citizens or whatnot. Of course, I'm sure that's because Kamala was part East Indian.
But isn't his wife East Indian?
His wife is East Indian. His 3 children are half East Indian each. And he's talking about, oh yeah, we need to get rid of these people. They're just nasty people. It's like, I mean, granted, I've heard rumors that his wife is out there, but I'd be fairly pissed off if my husband started talking about we're not
It was
my race is not good enough for them.
It was one of Musk's little muskrats.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you
that said that.
I'll tell you what's going on. It was, some years. This just didn't start with Trump.
No,
This started years ago. This started with the whole Tea Party thing, and then when people back in early 2000s were saying, oh, we got to do something because if not within 30 years, then English, the whites will be a minority and English will be a minority language, and the xenophobia started then, and they learned how to politicize it.
It started when Obama became president.
It started before that. It really came out when Obama became president. This just didn't start overnight.
No.
But it shall end. America's a melting pot, and English is our main language. Okay. But, we have other languages here, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
But to say that they're going to, how can they deport Navajos? He tried to deport Navajos. They were born here.
Where are they going to deport them to?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, they're going.
Where are they going to deport them to? Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, Colorado hippie hiker had a question, wanting to know if there's going to be a crisis or anything worse in the next 2 years. I mean, she's looking at a teaching position there, but all in all, it's like, is this going to be safe for people to even go there?
I guess she's going to be okay.
It will be safe to go there. Yes. It'll be safe to go to Canada. Yes. It'll be safe to go to Europe. Yes. It'll be safe to go to all of those places.
The reason why Trump
it just won't be safe to come here.
Bingo. That's exactly what I was going to say. People aren't going to be coming here. So Trump will try to take over the Panama Canal, and he'll try to bully them, but I don't see it as successful. So if it were me, I'd be there teaching. I'm sorry, Arthur. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's all right. I was just going to remind everybody that basically why he's set up Panama is he owes millions in taxes in Panama. They closed his Trump hotel there because it was basically used for laundering money with Russia, and they closed it. So he has a grudge against Panama. That's the only reason.
Yep. Hey. Exactly.
I like the dog in the picture, hippie hiker. That's cool.
Yeah, isn't that a great picture?
That's I can barely see.
All right, there was a good question, and I've had several people ask me this, and I haven't really looked at it real closely, but as someone who was once in that cult of the really whacked out evangelicals who everything is end times prophecy,
the answer is no.
A lot of their decisions they make is predicated with, well, when this happens, that's going to bring in the end times. Well, when this happens, and so it does make you feel like they make decisions to try to bring that in faster.
It depends what YouTube channel you're watching.
I don't think it has anything to do with evangelical for war in the Middle East. I think it has to do with Donald Trump, who's greedy, and Elon Musk wanting to control the Gaza Strip so they can control Israel and try to control Palestine so they can keep power and put more money in their pockets. That's what it's about.
Yeah, it's all around the money.
The world.
Now they might pander to those ultra right, whatever.
Yeah, because they see everything in that lens. Everything, they look at everything through that lens. I was there. I know. Thank God I woke up and got out of that. Lady Lo-Fi said, not advocating violence, but will there be any more assassination attempts?
I don't want to answer that one because
next.
People have free will. They're going to do what they do, and I don't know.
I know the answer, but I will answer it in private. I won't go public with the answer.
Lisa Foster asked, "Who do we see being our next president?"
Well, it's not going to be
not Donald John Trump.
I don't even think Vance. If Vance is, I'm just having a hard time seeing that.
I don't see. I've never seen Vance, but if Vance got in, at least we'd have a president who knows how to do his makeup. But I don't see Vance getting in. I don't see it.
Yeah. No.
It's almost like he's a co-conspirator.
He's going to be.
Absolutely.
He's going to be under indictment at some point. I see him jailed at some point. You know.
What I once predicted was those two are gone. The House and the Senate are blue. Hakeem Jeffries is in line.
It's like
as a placeholder for president.
Crimes against humanity. What they're doing. It's not. I mean, but it's going to be a rough road to get there.
Well, and it's what I was going to say leads right into what Joan was asking here, because we've got 3 special elections coming up, 2 in Florida, 1 in New York. And if we can take at least 2 of those seats, then that puts us even split, 215 to 215 in the House.
But then what do they do with
and that? Pretty much that would stop anything from moving forward, because the GOP won't be able to move anything forward because they don't have controlling votes. And, it puts the Democrats in a position where they can really hold up stuff being done.
I see the Dems taking over 1 seat. Florida's going to be really iffy.
Florida, I get 1 blue, 1 red. New York, blue.
Pick up. But but we'll gain it back slowly. But there's interference going on there too.
And something that I think, and I know I heard a lot of people saying it right after Biden won in 2020, was I heard a lot of the whistleblowers when it comes to voting speaking up and saying we have to tackle the voting issue before anything else, because if not, they're just going to steal the next election. What happened? They stole the next election. So that's going to be a main thing that we really, really, really have to get.
But they stole on a presidential level, not on the Senate level.
Yeah. And let's see, Carrie G wants to know, will we have an election for a president before 2028?
I don't know enough about special elections to know how that works. I'm not seeing it. I do think that there's going to be some things that's going to happen that's been unprecedented. Like with the Nixon years, what happened was Gerald Ford was the Speaker of the House. And the secession rules had changed. Mm-hmm. And so under that new law, he became, because Spiro Agnew resigned, so did Nixon, and Gerald Ford became president. I don't see Mike Johnson as president.
Oh, no.
But I see that people in the House trying to get rid of him, and they will.
If he's president, I see him as president like at the chess club at the prison.
He's not smart enough for that. Yeah. I don't know what happens. Who's next in line after Speaker of the House? Is a Postmaster General?
It's one of the cabinet positions, and I don't remember now which one it is. That's a Google machine question.
I have to check it out. But it's unprecedented.
What's the succession?
And whoever takes that office won't last very long.
Well, what I said was, I at one time I saw Hakeem Jeffries as a placeholder for the president.
Yeah, that's very positive.
I'm sorry, say again?
I saw him as a placeholder as president, Hakeem Jeffries.
There you go. Well,
because especially if we tie up the House, then we stand a really good chance of getting him put in as Speaker.
Oh, he will
Because
be
it would only take a couple of people on the Republican side to have had enough of their own party's crap, and they decide to swing their votes towards Hakeem. So that's always a possibility. I mean, I keep seeing him becoming Speaker.
Marine says that Secretary of Defense is after Speaker of the House.
oh,
Okay,
God.
I knew it was one of the cabinet.
So it's Hedgehog?
Oh,
You know,
God.
there's something in the comments with spiritual hacks, and when I read this, my psychic flash cube went off. Spiritual hack says constitutional crisis means breach. Trump knows that. That's why they're filing in one of the original 13. My psychic light bulb went off, and it just hit me. And I've said this before, but it really hit home. Trump and Vance want us to be in a constitutional crisis. That's what they're trying to create. It's engineered.
Yeah.
Because they think keep them in power because they think nobody can do anything. That's why Trump is signing all these crazy orders and this and that and whatever, just throwing it at the wall to whatever sticks. And when the court says you can't, that just hit me.
Well, that's what, like I said, beginning of the show, that's what Bannon said. Just keep them pounding every day. Just drive, and to do this. So.
No, but Trump wants us in a constitution.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah.
But
I'm agreeing with you.
I know. I'm just on my roll.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Lorraine asked, why are the Democrats not fighting harder to stop all the unconstitutional things?
They are.
They
are.
And also the legacy news is not reporting a lot of what's going on.
Hakeem Jeffries has been out every single day doing a press briefing. Every single day around lunchtime. Anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. Every day he's been out there. I have yet to see him on any of the legacy news channels.
Watch Ari Melber on MSNBC. Mm-hmm. He really says it like it is. And MSNBC is increasing in ratings, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Same with Lawrence.
Has been out there too. And also, like, Waters was out there at the labor.
They're all going to be out there. And you know,
did you see the guy that they had holding everybody back at the Board of Education? He looks like just a thug hired by Musk. And he said, I'm a federal employee.
The media is going to really, certain facets of the media, because a lot of these politicians like Hakeem Jeffries and many other ones are going to start speaking more and more and more and demand. And the media is going to have to pick them up. Can I just say what Innocent Potato says? Here's the Dems are doing things like this. Innocent Potato says, Western Maryland are here. We are Maryland proud of Representative Jamie Raskin in the very, very, very blue state of Maryland. Raskin is doing something.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot.
Right.
And he speaks up a lot. So I think Nora hit on it as well. All of these executive orders are part of a smokescreen.
Something more sinister. Yeah.
To create tariffs. Oh, Musk just got into the Treasury.
To create an authoritarian, totalitarian state where Trump can stay in for life. Remember what he said when he was running. If you vote for me, I'm president, you'll never have to vote again.
We already have enough votes, is what he said.
And we already have enough votes.
And after this, you not have to vote again.
Correct. But we know, I know what he meant by that. That he thinks he's going to stay in for life. I agree, Nora. That's a very good
point. I like what Meg says. This isn't a question. I just think it's funny. Cittadini is a walking, talking crime scene. Yeah.
We have to prove it.
In addition to being a DW, I won't say it. We'll go to YouTube, Jill. That's his new name, DW.
DWP, Department of Water and Power.
Can't say it.
Senator Chris Murphy, yes, he's been very vocal lately. He's
been out all over the place.
Many of them are going to be, even a few Republicans. You
and they're not getting the press.
Even Mitch McConnell said something. You ain't seen nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Wish I had kept my late mother's tranquilizers. I could use them now.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Ali wrote, "Wish I had kept my late mother's tranquilizers. I could use them now."
The Equinils, the Librium. Anyway, I've got to run.
We're going to all need drugs by the time this is all said and done with.
That's a good question, Sharon. I was thinking about tonight on my way home. I'm the president of our townhouse association. Our parking lot is starting to sink, and so we have an emergency meeting. But I was thinking about that tonight. I'm thinking, well, there might be a few justices who think it was a good ruling and they're going to do whatever Trump wants to do. But I think the majority of them are thinking, we have created a monster. We have let the tiger out of the cage and we're trying to hold him by the tail, and we're getting scratched and we're getting bit and we're going to be devoured. What are we going to do? I think they realize now, especially when Kavanaugh says, or one of them says, well, we have to think about this for future presidents. And it's like, wait a minute. They know. And, Trump doesn't have to worry about putting more justices on the court because he's not going to follow what this one says anyway.
I still am very upset that they took away Biden's clearance.
Well, Biden took his away, remember?
Yeah, but then they offered it back to me and refused to take it.
But here's the deal. Biden, behind the scenes, we'll find out what's going on.
Oh, God. Of course.
Oh, yeah. It's just like Kamala hasn't just been holed up somewhere and not doing anything. And I keep getting very strong impressions. She's been steadily at work with those that are good as far as prosecuting folks are. And
there you go.
Lady Lo-Fi asked, will Bobby Jr. make it harder for ADHD people to get their medications?
It's going to make it harder for everybody to get their medications, but I don't see him in office long.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
The family's mad, I'm telling you. I see Kennedy as president at some point, just not him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lorraine asked,
mad. I felt like, as in mad.
Yeah.
Worm got his brain.
What worm? That poor worm had probably starved to death. Nothing
That was good, Arthur.
I tried. I'm the comedy relief people.
What do you think of the new guy who was just appointed representative of the Democrats? I think he's going to be mouthy and good. He's not going to take a back seat.
He may come across as being my way or the highway, but I know he knows what he's doing.
He totally knows what he's doing.
He's coming out swinging.
Isn't he the one that turned Wisconsin around?
I'm sorry?
Isn't he the same guy? He was head of the DNC in Wisconsin when it was totally red,
Missouri?
and he completely flipped that state. It took a few years, but he did it. I don't know if this is the same guy or not, but I know that guy was also running for that position.
The Dems need somebody that's going to be my way or the highway.
And they need somebody that's not afraid to get out in front of the cameras and talk.
Oh, this guy's not.
He's not afraid.
Yeah.
This guy will crucify Trump.
Oh, Nora has another little question here. Do you see Dick Cheney doing something? Cough, cough.
No, but
just don't go.
He has a heart now, like this 8th one. But I wish he would go hey, JD, let's go quail shooting.
Anyway,
I've got to say, just don't go hunting with him.
Yeah.
I hate to break up this party, but I've got to run.
Okay, well,
I know you do, and
fun, people.
we've been at this an hour and 5 minutes, so
there you go.
This was
it's
good.
perfect
Tonight.
timing.
Thanks for letting me rant.
We have no choice.
You're welcome, Mel.
But,
You're welcome to rant anytime.
Just kidding. And tomorrow night, Aloha Tuesday.
Tomorrow night,
Aloha Tuesday. That's right.
What is it, Arthur? Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
What
Aloha
is it?
Tuesday.
It's what?
Aloha Tuesday tomorrow night.
I'm on your show.
Yeah, and it's at 8 o'clock. No, what time is it? It's at 7 o'clock Central. No, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock
Eastern.
Central.
It'll be
4
6
o'clock
o'clock
Pacific.
Central. 4 o'clock
Pacific.
4 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern.
And I'll be backstage to run their questions for them, so they can just talk. And we will be back on the 17th of February. Mel and I, and whatever guest we get to come with us, or it'll just be Mel and I. We'll see what happens. And because Arthur's obligated to something else.
Monday, right?
Yeah, the second and fourth Mondays of the month. Yeah. And so we'll be back on the 24th, and for another Draining the Swamp.
It's my fault because we were late tonight. I had to go to that
meeting. We drained him, but he keeps on restocking it.
That's all right, Mel.
Tomorrow night.
That's right. Y'all don't miss it.
I have to go to this.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Tomorrow, so.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.